Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 5 by DC Black Label. Great cover as always. Let's dive in because I have a lot to talk about. So as always, we start with a new character. That new character in this case is Bueno Veronica. She's called the scientist. That's her sign here. The sign has significance here in the comic as well. And she talks just like everybody else, that starts here in a... I don't know, I see all these embers here flying, so I guess she... Oh, I was a little bit too quick. I believe there's the house is on fire, and actually it is. We see it a little bit later in the comic, so spoiler. So she talks to the camera, to me, to the reader, about that she was part of the friends group, and etc. when they were younger, and they also, know Walter... You know the whole spiel. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. What strikes me that she has a relationship with I forget what, Nora. This is Nora, but it's more like Norm, I believe. Yeah, Norm. And Norm is now a transgender. This is a gay guy, I believe, called Reginald, Reg. And we have here Bueno Veronica with Walter. And Walter's a little bit upset about that Reginald takes him away because he's gay, as you can probably notice. And he says, I'm stealing Norm for a bit. I need to pick his brain about every boy I'm in love with in the whole world. So, yeah, and Walter's a little bit afraid that she's being hurt. Not sure why, because I don't know the context about why he's concerned with him. I don't know if Reginald is in love with Norm or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just all stuff. What I also don't get is this how gay people always talk, like girlishy and, like over the top. I'm not sure because maybe I didn't explain that, or maybe I did. I know a couple of guys, they're gay or lesbian. They all just act just like you and me, not over the top gay or over the top feminine or butch or whatever. They are just people. Not saying that these people are not, over the top people are not people, but I really don't get it because every time we see a gay person portrayed in a comic, it's always been or weak man, or over-the-top feminine, or confused, or emotional. I said that in my last video. Doesn't matter. So Walter here, talks about stuff. Again, it's just all mostly gibberish, in my opinion. So he says... So I believe this is Bueno. Bueno says, what's wrong with letting a few more people in our group? Because it seems that one of these people are just new. And he says, I don't know. I didn't think I like so many of you. So many of us? Yeah, people. I thought choosing was going to be easy. But I only have so many spaces to fill, and I have an important responsibility. What do you mean? And then he shows his true colors about that he is an alien. And this is in the past, by the way, to this woman. I can feel how much he cares about you, how much you care about him. Who is him? I don't know. Probably talking about the transgender that is still not transgender. So he reveals his true self, talks about stuff. He enters her, and that makes her forget. And she says, "Oh, hey, what's going on? It's okay. Norm, you like the stars? Tell me about the stars." It seems that she is work for NASA later, and she's now studying for it to be an astronomist. Is that how you say it? Okay, moving on. So we see her as well here, and this is, like I said, the nice house on the lake. It's burning, and we see this whole information dump about what's happened there in the past, and they all talk about how Walter loved them, and that's a recurring theme here, that whole love thing, and I have an issue with that. But before we go into that, you remember that the guy that slit his throat, that was very impactful, that I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. yeah, we have a small recap here, and you can read it if you want, if you pause the video. So I read it maybe just because I wanted to know if there's something different. Well, there is something different because halfway, the comedian, that was the guy that slit his throat, I forgot his name, I believe his name was David or something, I'm not entirely sure anymore because, yeah, David it was. But then David says, oh no, wait a minute, before I go into this particular piece. So in the last issue, in issue number 4, the last page, I was, oh my God, the writer did something really unexpected, subverting expectations, if you will. And I was very intrigued because, oh man, these people are, maybe in shock. Maybe they are, don't know what to do. They are screaming because they are immortal now. Nobody can kill them. They can be hurt, but nobody can kill them. And I thought to myself, if there's something happened in real life, I think that would be a really shock to the system, especially when a friend of yours just slit a throat in front of you. But then this happens. So the comedian, David, says, I have a healing factors. Isn't that cool? What? Okay. So the other one says, you have to stop talking. Your throat is healing, but it's still open. You could get infected. It doesn't matter. I could drink bleach and I'll be fine. But you felt it though, right? You felt the cut. Yeah. Okay, please don't blink any bleach. And the other one says, I think I'm going to be sick, and etc. But he still makes jokes. I said, I wish we could record this. I can do it again. It's my second time around. What the hell is going on here? You make something really important, something really serious, and you made it into a fucking joke. So everything that was cool at the last page at issue 4, that was, I think, in going to a very serious and maybe important direction, you just threw that out of the window and you're making jokes. Again, why? I don't get these writers. Why can't you go with this whole thing here and make it into something good? Go from there instead of reducing it to something that is not really important. I mean, he just also admitted that he felt the cut. Now, I want you to not cut your throat, by the way. Don't do that at all. Never, please. But imagine if you do that, the pain would be immense. You just pull a knife into your throat and just cut it open like it's, like I have a small cut on your finger. No, the pain would be intense. And he's just making jokes about the fact that, I can do it again because it was fun. Am I right, Twitter? It was fun. Jesus Christ. What is the audience for comics like this? Is this Netflix? Is this TikTok? Is this Twitter? Is this, cancel culture? No, probably not cancel culture, but a certain group of people, that like to cancel people for having a different opinion, social justice warriors, if you know what I mean. Not entirely sure, but I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. So, okay, skipping a couple of pages. So, as you can see here, she slaps him because he was joking around, checking his throat. So, what's his name again? I'm sorry, I really don't care. Norm. Yeah, Norm here, or whatever her name is now here, the transgender says, okay, this is the part what I tried to say here, but I'm coming a little bit later. I wanted to first go through the story. She says, so what if Walter, so it says that there are some rules here that they are not aware of. And she says, what if there are other rules, because they are now immortal? And she says, if Naya hadn't patched me up, we could have known about the healing factor shit on day 1. Walter tried to tell us the rules on our first day here. Yeah, she was talking about that she was trying to kill Walter with, a knife, and Walter hurt her, and then she's taking off here the bandages, and she is now healed. Okay, I get that. So these people says, well, maybe there are rules, but maybe Walter didn't was clear about the rules. And then the other one says, what if he can't tell us the rules? So they're figuring out a plan that they are trying to find out what other rules they are, but they don't have any evidence if there are any other rules. But they are convinced about that. So plot armor here. And so this woman says, Walter wasn't human, and he is at least somewhat involved with killing maybe everybody on the planet except for us. What are you talking about? Walter kidnapped you? He is an alien? Why should you trust him? Maybe Walter here wants to kill everybody and wants to have you in this golden cage here for, his pleasure, because you cannot die. Maybe he wants to watch you slowly go crazy. Maybe you are just an experiment to him. You don't know that, but all these people here gives him the benefit of the doubt because he loves them, because he is their friend. An alien friend that you actually didn't know who he really is. But she also says that it's all speculation and it's just a weird leap, etc. I also take offense that the fact that they just know that they cannot die, right? Just again, if somebody, slits his throat open, doesn't die, makes jokes about it, people would be angry, afraid, in shock. These people are just calm and talk about, hey, maybe those are other rules. Maybe there's. Why don't you take a step back and absorb what's happening here in front of your eyes instead of, hey, let's go to the next plot? It makes no sense to me at all. I really don't get it. It seems that all these people don't care what just happened a minute ago, right? What's happening here? So she says, so we are kind of assuming that because he had this malicious intent toward everything else, that he was malicious intent for us. But the evidence suggests opposite. He saved us from the end of the world and put us in this beautiful heaven where we can't get hurt or die. Just like I said a minute ago. Maybe he wants to, torture you. Maybe he wants to experiment on you. You don't know that. But you're all talking about him like he's the greatest guy ever. So weird. Then she says, well, you have to think differently now, and they, gonna take notes about everything that happened, want to figure it out stuff, more talking, which is all okay. But then Rick here says, I'm going for a walk. And she says, Rick, this is his girlfriend, I'm sorry, I just watched one of my friends slit his throat, and we're talking about secret messages and a whole lot of bullshit, and I need to clear my head. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Why don't you go, I'm talking to the writer now, why don't you go back to this particular scene, and make it through the whole book instead of, one guy is actually rational and have, need a moment to himself because of what's happening, what I've just talked about, while the rest of them making plans and talking about funsies. It's so weird. But then, like again, so this is a serious thing, right? So she says, I go with you. No. I need I need some space, I think. And then she says, I'm not doing all the dishes alone. Why make a fucking stupid joke at a time like this when this guy really needs some space and has some traumatic event unfolding in front of his eyes and you making a fucking joke? But she is actually going with him, following him, because he's standing in the woods and he wants to talk to Walter. And Walter says, and she said, I don't understand. Am I supposed to stop them from putting this stuff together? Or is this what you want? Walter, please, are you in there? Can you hear me? So he knows a lot more than than the rest of them. And she just figured that out. Intriguing. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff in here, but it's been overshadowed by all these weird and stupid decisions that they are making. Well, not stupid decisions, but I think the writer wants to have a serious narrative, but also doesn't know what to do with the seriousness of this book and make it into something that it's not it's supposed to be, in my opinion. So you can pause the video, you can read all of what's here. So they are taking notes, etc. And so they are talking about, and there's some photos. So we have this guy called Sam. She says, "Hey Sam, you said you said something. You have something. I'm sorry. Oh my words." She says, "David says he saw something in your notebook because in the last issues, Sam went on his merry way, taking photos, etc. And then he also revealed that so this is a bit of a greenhouse, 20 minutes walk, and he only discovered a quarter of the whole grounds, so there could be more. Not sure how you came to that conclusion. I mean, how do you know you have only discovered a quarter of the whole compound that you are in? I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Again, nothing matters. And he talks about planting some seeds in the greenhouse just in case, so that they don't rely on the food shipments anymore, which is a little bit weird because the food is coming daily, so you never run out of food. But maybe in the future something happens, so he's planning ahead. Okay, I give him that. And then this woman says, "Hey, what's this here on your map?" "Well, it's the other house on the lake." And everybody is quiet because he didn't tell them that there was another house. Are you fucking kidding me? So everybody's pissed, rightfully so. And he has some kind of a bullshit excuse about, well, you are not honest either. And then she says, "Well, because I don't know, we were all fucking immortal and I didn't want a bunch of people I don't know to suddenly have a fucking assault rifles." Yeah, speaking about assault rifles, I was forgetting that. They have assault rifles and explosive now. And hey, Mr. Comedian says, "Yoo-hoo, look at this, man. Hey, it is cool. Remember, you can get..." I'm sorry, I'm going way too fast. Let's slow down. "It is cool. Remember, we can't get killed anymore. I could shoot you all in the head right now and we'll all be fine." And she says, "Maybe someone to take the gun away from David." That is actually a cool idea because this guy seems a way too trigger happy for my taste. And you can say, well, you are immortal, you cannot die. Well, the bullets still hurt. And first of all, everyone in the world, I think, has some kind of an instinct that says if you are getting threatened or being killed or being shot or somebody has a gun to your face, you will have a natural instinct of being scared or, of that, or, getting panicked. That's not how you say it, but you know what I mean. You're gonna panic. With stuff. Anyway, so they decided to go to the other side, to the black house. I love this shot, by the way. The art is really cool. Not a big fan of all these weird color things, but hey. So the astronomic girl, this one, says that she has been looking into the sky and she was, tried to register falling meteorites, and that she figured it out that the world is turning, like this, and that the sky is going with it. And then she says, "But since we got here, it's been locked in place." Interesting. Okay, interesting. I like that. So they are here, and they are here at the where Sam was taking pictures, and Mr. Gung Ho wants to shoot everybody, right? And so he wants to shoot at the house. Nothing happens, so they want to try explosives, and I like this. This looks cool. And they say they're counting down, and there's a big fucking hole here. Also looks cool. Nice effect with the clouds, etc. And then they're discovering these signs, these symbols that Walter gave to each and one of them at these statues, these ones. So they decided to have the idea to press it all at once. So they did. And then, is this you call a hexagon? Well, the door opens, and this guy here is laughing, jumps out, kisses the transgender, and he says, "Hey, it's good to see people, to hug people, real human people." And and they hug each other. And he says, apologies, I'm a little bit manic. I've been practicing speeches in my head since before you all got here. I really thought you were going to put this together much faster. We're going to have work very quick now. So who is this guy? Well, he's the gay guy from the beginning of the comic. It's called Reginald. Still trying to save the world. So imagine if you are locked in this place for weeks, for months, and like here, right? Because that's the time passes, I guess, from all these other group of people here. They are being here for a very, 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 very long time. And you are stuck in this house. And the first thing you're going to do when you come outside is being, hey, I'm so glad I see you because I haven't seen you in a couple of days, and hugging and kissing and looking like this. If I were in this house, for instance, I would scare to death because I couldn't get out. You know, I'm being all alone. Where is my friends? What am I doing here? How do I get out? And I'm here for months. I mean, he says it took you a long time to figure it out. Maybe they never figured it out. Then what? What? You wouldn't be smiling. I didn't get this reaction at all. It seems that he is anticipating that what would happen, and that he has all these speeches in his head. I really don't get it. What a weird way to greet people that you have seen in months because you were fucking stuck in a fucking house that you wouldn't know that you get out for real. God, I really don't like this comic. This is Netflix TikTok material. Give it a thumbs down. Bye for now, guys. Thank you for watching.